Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marnise Nicole and I'm an acrylic painter, and today is another part of my series, Every Single Shade, where we are going into my art supplies and using every single shade of my acrylic paints. And so for this drawer, we are actually going into my purple, maroon,
kind of coolish, also warm tone, purple and like darker reds drawer.
There's a lot in here. There are some dark pinks, some muted pinks. There are also some maroons, some chronacodones, as well as lots and lots of purple. And this drawer kind of got created because I wanted a warm tone drawer and a cool tone drawer for the things that I would reach for. So my reds have like the warm tone drawer, but it actually ended up getting split more towards color groups versus kind of tone. So in this drawer we have these kind of purples of any shade, those maroons and those darker pinks that I talked about. And next we'll be going into my red drawers. This drawer right here that has like more of these kind of warmer, brighter reds, very light pinks, that sort of thing. So that'll be the next drawer we go through. But for now, let's hop into this. So if this is the first time you're jumping into the series, hi, my name is Marnise Nicole. I'm an acrylic painter and I have been going through my art supplies, mostly to kind of stop myself from overspending on art supplies. It hasn't worked. There's actually an art haul coming soon and it's massive, but I blame quarantine. But I still want to continue to go through because I think the series has been so helpful. So far I've done my yellow and orange drawer. I started off with my brown drawer. You can see that right here. And my last drawer, this one right behind me, which is my neutrals drawer. And this just has my glitter paints, blacks, grays, and whites that would be in my most used drawer. And so with these, I've been able to swatch my colors, see what I have, and then create art that I absolutely adore. I've been reaching for these colors that I've swatched even more now that I know what they look like. I know what they are swatched out. I know what they are toned down with some white added to them. And so I've enjoyed this process so much. And so we're gonna move on to the purples. And so of the purples, I don't have as many as I thought I did. For some reason, I thought I had like all the purples. I have a lot, but just not as much as I thought. So starting off with just what I have here, I have a few different brands. I have Golden Acrylics, some Charvin Arts, some Matisse, and then finally some Liquitex. Liquitex is actually the most that I have, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into those first. Firstly, I have this Basics Student Grade Deep Violet. This is something I use as basically a base coat for any projects that I'm working on. I'll go in with this first, and then I'll kind of build on top of that with my more professional grade paints. But it's nice to use this just to kind of etch out the idea, play around with some shadows, that sort of thing. And so I have this purple. And then we have these 4 Liquitex heavy body paints. So to start off with, we have a muted violet. We have a muted pink, we have a medium magenta, and we have a brilliant purple. Now, this is what I mean when some of these colors in this drawer wouldn't necessarily go in a warm tone purple drawer, but they fit here, and it's kind of just how I like to organize them. So we have these. And actually, of the 4, I haven't actually used the medium magenta yet, because this color is very, very similar to another color. And actually, let me just grab that. This is Design Magenta. This is actually almost out. It was in my last product empties video that you must have just seen. And if you haven't, it'll be linked up here. But this is almost finished. And so I have the second bottle just waiting to be cracked open. But it's a very nice color. It is a very rosy red, kind of magenta-y color. It's very close to like a very pinky pink, but just a hint of purple in it, making it kind of that magenta color. Now, these are not the same tone family at all, but if I'm reaching in the drawer, I've always reached for this, or really this tube right here of the magenta. Of golden, I have Chronacridum, magenta. This was a color I used a lot back in the days. So much so that I got this 4 fluid ounce jar, which is almost empty, but there's still enough in here to kind of play with. And then I also have this dioxide purple. Dioxide purple is a staple for me. I use it for outlining. I use it for shadows when I don't want to go necessarily towards a black. And I just like it to give dimension. It's still enough color that it kind of keeps the tone playful, but it's still dark enough to create some shadows and some contrast. So this is really my go-to, and this is my third of this dioxide purple from Golden this year. I love, love, love this color. Finally, I have 2 of my favorite colors from Charvin Arts, which is my favorite brand currently. It is a Paris brand, and it is for nice, professional, finely milled acrylic paints. It's just so nice. I have the permanent red violet, and I have the ultramarine violet. So warm tone, cool tone, both awesome colors. So of all of these colors, I feel like I do need to expand into the quinacridone family. There are so many kind of quinacridone magenta colors and shades and tones that I see all out there, and I could mix them, or I could try to mix them, but I really believe in having a pigment base, something that is always a consistent color. I like to mix colors, of course, but I can never really mix the same color twice. And so if you have that standard in your collection, you don't have to worry so much about getting color matches when you spend weeks on a painting. Of this collection, the only light purple I have is this brilliant purple. This is a rebuy for me. I love the brilliant line in the Liquitex families for their heavy body and soft body paints. This purple is the only light purple that I really have in the collection, which is odd to me. I have very deep going purples, but not very light purples, or pinks of that matter. At least not in this drawer. There are some light pinks that are in my red family drawer, but we'll get to those another week. And so with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start painting. So I'll be back. So we are back after doing our swatches. I'll insert pictures here. But I really actually am glad that I did this drawer, because I found some surprises. First of all, this Charvin Ultramarine Violet. It is a very blue violet, and I did not know that. I assumed it would be more cool tone, but it's like cool tone. It is this kind of blue purple right here, if you can see. And just overall, the diversity in color that I got from this drawer is great. So I think I'm going to be able to create a nice little sketch here with my little sketchbook paper. It is already taped off and ready for me to get to work. So we're going to hop right into the filming portion of my sketch time lapse and see what we can create. I'm really excited about like the different tonal values that I got out of this drawer. There are some kind of closer to brown muted colors here. There are some very nice lights and some nice rich darks with that dioxide purple. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. I think I want to do something medieval and castle-y. So I'm gonna look for some reference photos, and then we are going to start the time lapse. Okay, so just starting off with cleaning my brushes off from the swatches and getting ready. And I did find this kind of cool, interesting looking house amidst the hill that I wanted to use for my reference photo. I don't think I got really the shape of the house well enough in the beginning, so I did end up switching kind of the perspective of the house, but I was interested in the reference photo mostly because of the various shades, the brick that I could do, which would complement that kind of reddish tone purple that I had, as well as just well, I like painting forests. That is very true. And so I spent about not even 20 minutes on a sketch. I just did it very quickly. I was painting on a beginning shift before work, and so I really wanted to make sure I was able to finish everything before I had to sign in for the day. But yeah, I played around with all of the colors and ended up creating like this very nice house on the hill. I'll actually go ahead and insert the photo of me, the finished piece, just so you can see kind of where I was going. And so I use that reddish purplish color to kind of make that brick outline, and then I will later go in and address the landscapes and that sort of thing. I wish I would have used maybe more white to create some more lighter spaces in the final product. I didn't really mix a lot. I kind of just went very heavy with the actual colors because they were so nice. And at first, when I was first swatching everything, I kind of thought that this drawer still needed some diversity, but just using the paints, there was so much to reach for. There was that very light purple, the brilliant purple from Liquitex that I really, really love. I was using a lot of the dioxide purple to kind of create my shadows and do my line work. All of the maroons were just gorgeous. And actually, I think I want to do a secondary piece where I'm kind of creating jewels. So maybe some rubies or just stones, because I think these colors very much would complement jewelry, necklaces, that sort of thing. And so anyway, you're seeing me fill in the landscape here, and then I'm going to quickly start kind of fixing the home because my proportions on that house was not the most accurate at all. And then we go in just with some more just heavy kind of paint going down to indicate bushes and leaves and that sort of thing. So I'm gonna let you watch the rest of the play out, and then we will hop into the wrap up of this video. Some of my favorite parts for any painting is like removing the outlining tape so that you can really see how striking it is when it has some type of border. This tape and this paper doesn't really work well. It keeps trying to tear my paper, but you know what? We will prevail, and I will eventually buy some painter's tape. But here we go. So guys, it is finished. This is it. This is what I've created. I really like what I did with this. I'm like actually really excited about all of these colors. So these are it all swatched out, and I kind of just did like a cabin in the woods kind of situation, like a loose kind of forest background, and then a hill with the little house on it with the chimney. So that is what I created. I love this color story, and I really want to play with it some more. This is like really exciting, and this is why I do my every single shade series, so I can go through my art supplies and kind of create and kind of just play in a non-stress way with my art supplies. So if you don't really know what you have surrounding you, I highly recommend this. This was very fun and very quick. I spent about 25-30 minutes just playing around, swatching everything, and then creating this artwork. And so I'm very happy with it. I really like really all of the different kind of diverse color patterns I have. I like the kind of muted tone of the colors in general, and I just like the theme. I really like it. So that was this episode of Every Single Shades, where I went through my kind of purple, cool tone, warm tone, maroonish drawer. And so that's this artwork. Next time I will definitely be doing my red drawer because I love reds. Reds are my thing. They're my color. It's what I wear all the time. It's my favorite lipstick shade, and it's always featured in my artwork. And that is it. I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.